Hi everyone. I'm here to talk to you guys about rejection. This video is primarily for those of you who are first-time homeowners or those who want to own your own property by converting your apartments into co-ops, as I've mentioned before in the past. Now I'm letting you know ahead of time, this will not be easy, and I'm going to share with you some of the rejection that I had to deal with to inspire you and to encourage you guys that despite rejection, you still can go ahead and own your own property. Well, one of the first things that I encountered was I was rejected because I was told that I didn't have any credit. So for one whole year, I had to try and build credit. Once I built credit, I went back to the bank and tried to apply for a loan. Well, there were certain things that came up in my credit report and in my background report that prevented me from getting the loan. I've asked them for those reports, and I found that there were some inaccuracies on it. So I sent a letter to TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian so that they could go over what was there and correct it. Now, in case you don't know, whether it's a credit report or a background report, they have 30 days after you submit your dispute to go ahead and fix that. So the credit reports were fixed. However, I still had an issue with the background agency. I actually didn't submit anything to the dispute department. I spoke to them one-on-one. Here's what happened. My mother bought a home and she put me down as a beneficiary. So because of that, they said that I did not qualify for the first-time homeowner programs that they had. However, later we found out after I spoke to my lawyer that that's not true and they're not supposed to deny me from those programs or anyone else. My neighbor ran into a similar situation as well. She actually inherited a house from a relative, and they told her also that she wasn't qualified for the first-time homeowner program. Well, that's not true. Whether you are a beneficiary or you inherited property, if that is not your primary residence, you still qualify to be part of the first-time homeowners program. What you need to do is you need to call the dispute department or find out who the background report agency that bank or whoever used, and send them a letter and send them proof. In my case, it was sort of easy because they had that I owned that property from 1978. That was not possible because at 7 years old, there's no way in the world I'd be owning a home. My last name is not Jackson, just in case you don't realize it. So it was a little bit easy once I pointed that out, that they had to correct it, and they allowed me into the first-time home buyers program. Now, later on after the video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide a link to you guys. I found a great website that lists all of the first-time home buyers that each and every state in the United States offers. Beware, it's not only for first-time home buyers. If you already owned a home, but you're moving to a targeted neighborhood or a targeted area, you too can still apply for these grants. Just want to put that out there. And don't let anybody tell you that you cannot apply. You can apply, okay? Now, the other thing, and also I'm going to provide another link that will give you an idea of what the targeted areas are in different states. I don't believe it's in every state, but there are some states that have them. It's a part of the Obama Promise zone program. Now, even though Trump is the president that you elected, he has not disbanded this particular program. It's still in effect. And the reason why I know this is because I was looking at the Philadelphia market. I went to their state's website, and those neighborhoods, North and West Philly, are still in the program. And in Atlanta, I believe it's Decatur, parts of Decatur and DeKalb, I think is the other place. And in Texas, if you're on in San Antonio, it's the eastern neighborhood that's still under that program. You still can get tax credits, number one, and you still can apply for any grant programs for first-time homeowners, even if you're not a first-time homeowner. So I want to get that out there just in case any of you also have run into that, and if any of the banks have said that to you. Some people, I hate to say it, some people are not trained well, and then there are some people who are haters, and they just don't want to see you make it. But you keep pushing, you know, persevere, and if you have a good lawyer or legal insurance to back you up, that's even better. Next, I want to tell you is that even after you own your own home, you may encounter, or if you are, let's say you bought a property and you needed to fix it up, finding contractors can also be an issue. There are some contractors that will reject you. They will say, oh no, we don't go into that neighborhood. It's too far, even though it's only 5 minutes away. But because of the stigma that a neighborhood might have, they might not want to come and help you. So it may be a little bit harder for you to find people, especially reliable people, that are willing to come out, work with you, and assist you on your rehab or just even like minor issues that you may have in your home. And I've actually had people, because when I bought my home here, it was the hood, as many of you know, and there were times when they were reluctant to come. When they finally came out, they were like shocked, because for so many years the media had said so many horrible things about Harlem, you know, and I'll have to admit, all of the neighborhoods in Harlem or all of the areas were not good. But there's always been good people here. But because of that negative stigma that was attached to us, we were ignored, forgotten, you know, a lot of misjudgment that other people had, they placed on us. The other thing I want to point this out to you, and this affects those of you who are going to be converting, who are looking to convert your apartments into co-ops, either in the TIL program, ANCP program, or I forgot the programs that they have out there in DC that allow, if you are a tenant and you've lived there for a certain period of time, to convert your apartment into a co-op. Know that sometimes your own will turn against you. I have a friend, she's in the ANCP program. And the way that works, just like TIL, you need 80% of the tenants in your building to agree to convert into a co-op. She said that she found her biggest struggle was with the other tenants in the building, because they didn't understand and they didn't know the importance of home ownership, or, you know, owning the apartment. It just took a lot for her. But after convincing and talking over and over for years, I think it took about 2 years just to convince most of the people in the building that this is a good program to get into and to have it converted into a co-op. It eventually worked out, and believe it or not, the people who fought her the most are the people who actually benefited from the program more than she did, because they're not paying anything. How you like that? I mean, they paid to buy the apartment, but as far as their rent is concerned, they're not really paying rent. It's maintenance costs, but I'm just so used to saying rent. Anyway, the government takes care of their maintenance. They don't really have to pay anything. Next, I wanted to point out is that sometimes rejection is a good thing. Now, as you know, as I mentioned before, I applied to more than one bank. One of the banks that I applied to, they actually gave me a loan. This is after I fixed my credit and corrected the misinformation that was on my credit report and my background report. They gave me a loan, but they didn't give me the amount that I wanted, that I needed. So, I cried about it a little bit. I was like, oh no, I'm going to have to leave the state. I really don't want to leave. Well, I kept going to the seminars that they gave out, all of the banks, and even the New York Times and what have you. Any first-time homeowners seminar, I went. Eventually, another bank came, and that's the bank that I took up a mortgage with. They had their own first-time homeowners program separate from the state and city. They also offered to pay part of my closing costs and reduce points. So sometimes we cry over who rejects us, but then later on you'll find that you'll be happy that you were rejected because better is coming, and better definitely came my way. And I wish and hope and pray that better comes your way in case any of you are rejected as well. So just keep up the hope and keep up the faith. Know that this too shall pass and better is coming. Lastly, I want to say this to you. Sometimes we need to reject some of the things that people say to us. For example, when I was looking for property, there were certain specifications that I had. I wanted to be close to transportation. Many realtors told me that that was unrealistic for me in this city to find property close to transportation, that I'm going to have to get a car, park it in the garage, and then take the subway. Even though it took me 5 years, I finally found property that's next to a plethora of transportation, 4 trains and 7 buses, okay? So again, sometimes these realtors, they'll say things like that because at the time that you approach them, they don't have the property that you want. So they'll try to get you to settle for less. Don't settle for less. If it's something that you really want, stick it out until you can get it. Why? Because that's a lot of money to put down, especially those of you who are first-time home buyers and you're buying a home. That's a lot of money to put down to buy a place that you're not really going to be comfortable with, that you're not going to be happy with. So I just want to give you guys those words of encouragement. Be patient. Trust the process. Know that everybody's, unfortunately, is not going to be for you. Everybody is not going to be with you. And sometimes the systems, there are errors that you need to check and have fixed and have correct. Don't let anything go by. Okay? So I just wanted to share that. Have a happy day. Enjoy the rest of your day. And good night for now. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Joel Rodney Harrison, and whoever else. Facebook has a habit of giving me the numbers on top of who's watching, but it doesn't always tell me the name of the person who's watching. So To you guys who I can't see, thank you as well. Bye.